everybody. Welcome to episode 31 of Table Cheese. I'm your host, Anton Sixxx, and joining me as always, we have Dee.
How's it going, guys? This is going to be a really interesting episode talking about the PlayStation Showcase.
Yeah, so PlayStation, they had their first showcase since 2021, and it was an hour long, and I will say it could have been 30 minutes and cut a lot of the fat because I was going to want to go through this game by game.
Yeah.
But it's literally 3 pages of notes in my notebook. So
they gave us a lot. They gave us a lot of games. Some of them really caught my eye. I keep trying to find my notes, but they're not in front of me. So to the phone I go. There was one game that really stuck out to me, besides the big heavy hitters, and that's the Phantom Blade Zero.
Oh yeah, Phantom Blade Zero looks insanely good. That is the highlight of the show.
Yeah, I was really surprised by how good that looked. It felt like a good old Western, but kind of like a samurai feel at the same time. Like in the mechanics, seemed like it was kind of all over the place, but like in a good way. It looked like a really cool game.
Yeah.
Also, the Tower of Fantasy. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like that one or not, but it seems like that seems like a game that I want to see what it's going to be like.
Yeah. So Tower of Fantasy and Grand Blue Fantasy, both looking at them after seeing a trailer for Final Fantasy 16, I was just like, they weren't doing as well. So the Tower of Fantasy thing, I think Tower of Fantasy is like an IP, but it's just not something I'm familiar with. So I thought it was another game coming from Bandai Namco that they've been advertising lately, Blue Protocol. So in my notes, I'm like, oh, Blue Protocol, like it's an anime mech thing, but.
And it has like monsters and stuff, so I feel like it'd be like right up your alley. Sounds like you're a big Monster Hunter
guy. I mean, the one that had the monsters that actually looked really cool. Well, first of all, Dragon's Dogma 2. We gotta.
Okay. I was working my way up to that one.
Well, Radic, #1 Dragon's Dogma fan, is probably honestly playing Dragon's Dogma 1 right now. And I remember he completely lost it when they announced Dragon's Dogma 2, and to finally get a real trailer. Apparently it showed new races. It showed it seems like what the Dragon's Dogma community wants. And I mean just as a casual onlooker, the game looked really good. So
yeah, it did. It looked real seamless. It looked like it had like some Elden Ring vibes to it, but it definitely felt like a Square Enix kind of situation. I forget that the company that did this game. It is Capcom. Yeah, it's Capcom.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of Capcom stuff. So if we just go down the Capcom stuff, we got Street Fighter 6, Dragon's Dogma 2, Resident Evil 4 VR. So for them to have such a strong presence, I'm surprised we only got 2 Square Enix games.
Yeah, because they are kind of on fire right now. They're actually pushing the envelope when it comes to being more relevant in 2023. I suppose the games, I guess NetherRealm is kind of doing the same thing. Also keeping themselves relevant for being as long as they have. But Capcom, they're sticking out to me. They're sticking out to me for sure.
Yeah, Capcom, they have been going through a renaissance pretty much since they released. I think Resident Evil 7 was the beginning of it, and then it was Monster Hunter World, and then it's just hit after hit, and with Street Fighter, with Dragon's Dogma, with all the Resident Evil remakes, with just all the stuff they've been doing since Resident Evil 7 came out. They've just kind of been on fire. They've been on a hot streak. At least once a year, there's a big Capcom game to pay attention to.
And it just stands out to you. Just you see it there. It's Capcom. Even if you're not interested, kind of how you were with Tears of the Kingdom, like people are talking about it. It's getting registered in your system for you like to possibly maybe pick up this game. So no, like I agree with you. Like they are definitely doing some things.
Well, yeah, I'll have to talk to Radic to see if I should check out Dragon's Dogma 2, but I know Street Fighter 6 I'm on board for. Resident Evil 4 Remake I kind of want to play, but I feel like I need to play at least 2 Remake before I do that. So,
I mean, speaking of remakes, there's a lot of remakes in this list too, from what I saw.
well, it was a lot of remakes and a lot of sequels and a lot of So, like, I just want to go down the list and just read out all the 2s that I have. So there's Helldivers 2, Ghost Runner 2, Talos Principle 2, we got Alan Wake 2, Dragon's Dogma 2, Arizona Sunshine 2, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2, and Spider-Man 2. So that's a lot of 2s. The only 2 that actually use the like Arabic numeral of 2 were Five Nights at Freddy's and Spider-Man. Everything else, it was like Roman numeral 2, and it's
Roman numeral 2. It didn't get old. They used to, especially like Talos and Principal. They used 2 pretty nicely. Like they used it in a way that it didn't seem like it was like the same way that Dragon Dogma 2 was. It was just sitting there.
I mean, all of them, it kind of just felt like, I'm just like, wow, it's so many sequels. That's why, like, a lot of the things that really stood out aren't sequels. So, like, Immortals of Avion, I probably won't check that out, but that first-person magic, like, Bioshocky kind of, it looked interesting. I mean, to be fair, almost everything they showed looked at least semi-interesting.
Even Foam Star?
Well, so everybody...
It looks like a Splatoon-like.
Yeah, so it is a Splatoon-like, but the one thing nobody's talking about with this game, I'm like... Everybody says everything looks like Fortnite these days. Like, anything comes out with a cartoony art style, like, as compared to Fortnite. And, like...
Agreed. I've done it quite a few times. Yeah.
Right. The comparison to Fortnite just never stopped. But this game, like, that female lead character in the trailer, like, I'm pretty sure there's a character in the Fortnite Battle Pass this season that is that character.
Oh, yeah? Already?
Let me see. It's Chapter 4, Season 2.
Oh, you've been, like, dead serious. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. So, like...
the pink hair character, right?
Yeah. Like...
I was thrown off about the fact that, like, it is, like, you know, a Splatoon-like, but it's done by Square Enix. That was the part that made me go... Okay, well, like, you know, I wouldn't be interested in this, but like since Square Enix is a part of this, like you do have my attention.
Let me see. I guess it was last season that it was a skin, or it might have been Fortnite Crew. Was it Fortnite?
I definitely think it's for a certain age group. This game, it definitely seems like it's
me and all my friends, like, so I got in the PSN party after watching the showcase, and because there's a new raid series in Final Fantasy XIV, and so we're getting through the raid series. I still have only done the first 2 parts, because I did the first 2 parts last night, and then tonight I got on and I was like, all right, we're going to run through the first part, or the second part with Darren, because he had to get off right before we did the second part. I'm like, we're going to run through it. We know the mechanics. We're good. Over an hour of doing this, like, we knew all the mechanics. None of us were dying. It was just, and then, like, we got it to, like, 1% health, and then the healers died, or all the DPS were dead. I died as one of the tanks. They let the other tank jumped off. And then it was a tank mechanic that hit the healers and knocked them out. So, at like literally 1% health. So I was like, I'm still salty about it. It's just, but I was able to talk about.
But it caught your attention. It sounds like.
Yeah, it's Fort. I'm looking at Fortnite pictures on my screen saying Fortnite 14, which I actually did get Miles and 2099 in Fortnite. So their skins dropped yesterday, I think, and so I wanted to hop
That's
in
right.
and play a game as Miles.
I think I saw news about that floating around.
Yeah, I mean there have been posters around the island lately about where's Miles. Um, but yeah, Miles is in Fortnite, and so I played a game of that. Went and started raiding in 14. But yeah, the raids like that's some of the best content in my opinion, because between the normal raids, which is what we just got the final part of the Endwalker normal raid. So the 4 parts that just came out are the last of it. But I mean, we literally fought the boss, the dungeon we were in. Like, it grew a face and just to basically turn into a giant spider and started fighting us. But
Holy.
yeah.
Wicked.
Oh yeah, the normal raids are all really cool. The alliance raids, for the most part, are really cool. Like, but as with any content that you're doing over and over again, the earlier stuff is the stuff you're going to get more often, and so it gets repetitive. And it's like after you've done the Crystal Tower for the 1000th time, you're just like, I don't want to do Crystal Tower. Or the Alexander normal raids. Like I'd be fine if for the rest of my time playing Final Fantasy 14, I could not have to do any parts of the Alexander raid or the Crystal Tower Alliance raid, any parts of that either.
Just gets too predictable, too overwhelming.
Well, no, it's just the same thing, and the content's not like difficult. It's just kind of like.
Yeah. Like one of those good old fashioned just play through levels. No, I get you.
So.
And they just keep on popping up for you. Something like the developers got a little bored. Like this, let's just toss that in there, just so they can keep on playing it.
I'm gonna drop.
Did you like Assassin's Creed Mirage?
That trailer I wrote in my notes. Mirage is going back to the basics, and so that's really,
Saw the picture.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man Fortnite. You think that's fucking sweet, man.
Yeah, that's the loading screen you get. I'm gonna see if I can.
Is it?
Yeah. So let me see
that's nice.
I'll send you the cosmetics. Like that's everything that's in the shop. And if you look at the bundle, it has the loading screen down in the corner. So the gamer
That's
link.
really nice.
Yeah. So that's why I had to pop in and play a game as Miles.
You just had to. Just do what it's like.
Yeah. I mean, right now, Spider-Man 0 points like my main skin. So I really might replace that Spider-Man with this Spider-Man.
This is a cool time to live in. We got Latinx and an Afro Latinx Spider-Man inside of a Fortnite game, and we're getting excited for both of them in a new Spider-Man movie. Like, really, this is a good time. Good time to be a nerd, man.
Week after next, right?
Yeah.
From recording.
Spider on the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, I still got to go and get the Whopper, the Spider-Man Whopper. I sent you that.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. The meal. Yeah, you told me that. That's right. I had to think about it for a second. You're like some kind of Spider-Man crown, right?
Well, yeah, there's the crown, but they also have like the cups, like
the cup and the red burger.
Yep. So I want to try the red burger.
I mean, just to say you had it.
Yep. I ate the Spider-Man Whopper.
Hey, okay. The Helldiver trailer.
Yes.
Did you watch it? Did you watch the Helldiver
Yeah,
trailer?
I watched every single trailer that was in this PlayStation showcase all the way through. Some of them I like paused and like would scrub back a little bit to like get some details for my notes, but yeah, I mean, I for the most part watched it beginning to end, no breaks, saw every trailer.
It was ridiculous as hell. The trailer,
Yeah.
like it looked interesting, but it was super like very Starship Troopers. Like if you guys know what Starship Troopers is, it's
Yeah.
based
That
off a book.
that's been being called out a lot. So considering it's Helldivers 2, like it's a sequel to Helldivers, and this game has leaked multiple times. So like even in my
All
predictions on
right.
Cheesy Controller, I'm like, yeah, Helldivers 2 is probably going to be there. So it's good they got it out the way. It was only the second game shown. So it was just kind of like one of those things that it was in the Nvidia leak, which is where Nvidia GeForce Now
That's
like
right. That's
they
right.
leaked like a list of games that hadn't been announced, and it was like, oh, most of those, like some developers outright came out and said like, hey, no, like those were test files, like Titanfall 3 is not a real thing. And then Mortal Kombat 12 was one of the things that leaked, and we see now that they called it Mortal
It's
Kombat
more
1.
than one.
So it's
Is that
not
why
the
everyone was
most.
talking about Titanfall for a while? Is because of that leak? Is that why like Titanfall was on
No,
everyone's lips for a good minute?
no, Titanfall's just great and should like everybody should be
Okay.
talking about and asking for
No,
Titanfall.
didn't talk about because it's awesome. No, 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 that had nothing to do with
Yeah.
that. All right,
Well,
I watched
more
the
recently,
trailer.
the Titanfall, the reason Titanfall recently was in the news is because Respawn was supposedly working on a game called Titanfall Legends, where the characters from Apex Legends and like the Titan BT from Titanfall
That
2, like there was going to be a whole campaign and they canceled it,
it
and
never happened. Yeah,
so yeah, that would have been
yeah.
great. That would have been awesome. Play Titan. If you haven't played the campaign of Titanfall 2, play the campaign of Titanfall 2. Thank me later. It is one of the best shooter campaigns of all time.
Put that on the list of things I've heard Anton say before. Like, thank me later. All right, that's it's Anton Sixxx approved. All
Yep,
right,
Titanfall 2, not the multiplayer. Don't play the multiplayer has been ridden with hackers. Like you don't want to. They're like if you play on PC, especially, you don't want to open yourself up to like legitimate security risks. So like
oh,
stay away.
it's like that.
Yeah, it's real bad. Like it is as
All right,
bad as it could be in a lot of ways. So
all right.
yeah, don't play the Titanfall 2 multiplayer at all unless like I mean you like getting doxxed. Like if that's your thing, by all means, but if you're not a fan like me, don't play the multiplayer. But the campaign's
that's very
still
odd
solid.
kink. Very very odd kink.
Right? Weird flex,
I'm not
but
kinky
okay. Live
I
and
will
let
tell you,
be.
like the weakest game I saw out of all of this was that the Breath of the Wild. Like, can you guess what I'm talking about?
Which one was the Breath of the Wild like?
Towers of
Oh,
Azkaban.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was the one that had
that was
cool monsters, but I was
mm-hmm,
like, oh, glider.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I mean,
Yeah,
it had like town building. Seemed like it was a survival game that went.
yeah. You didn't know what it was. That's what I got.
Yeah, it was one of those things of like whoever watched the trailer and was sold by the trailer, like play it. It's not on my list. Like it is not on
It's
my
not.
even out of just this showcase, which isn't everything coming out in the next year. Even in this showcase, I was like, no. This is actually so. Let me see. Um, so I wrote fake language, building, glider, monsters, bow. And this is where I started getting bored. So I wrote, started getting bored.
Jeez. I
Yeah.
started getting bored. Like I said that to myself during the teardown. I started getting bored. That game did
Well,
not
so
sell it for me.
Teardown, the thing with
Yeah.
Teardown's really cool on PC with a really high-end graphics card. That trailer was running at a choppy 30 frames per second. It
Mm,
like it's a really interesting concept for a game, but what people did with it on PC is voxels. So everything is just little cubes. And a lot of games have done really cool things with voxels like Resogun. Resogun is like an amazing voxel based game.
okay.
I think
It did seem choppy to me. So like that
oh yeah, it
could
was
be why like
running
it took me out.
the like so there I was listening, I want to say it was the Giant Bombcast like a few years ago, and hearing them talk about Teardown in early access, and hearing like they let one of their kids play it and they crashed the computer because they just like blew everything up at once, and because it's rendering all these individual little shapes like,
I
and
mean,
this
like
is
as you would do in a game like this, yeah.
right. So, and that seemed really appealing, but the fact that it's just so graphically intensive, because the voxels just they make things harder. Like the fact that everything is an interactable little piece.
Right.
To yeah, it's just really performance intensive, and so like seeing the trailer run at a choppy 30, that the game's not gonna run well. Like it's a
I
cool
feel like I
idea,
should
it's a
like
cool concept. Like people were
it's like
modding like all types of like user created stuff into it on the PC version, which none of that's gonna come to the PlayStation version. So
I don't think it could, yeah. For those of you who don't know what this game is, you didn't watch the trailer. Teardown seems more like a Minecraft Lego like,
yeah,
and like you can deconstruct and construct things to your liking. You got like a vehicle you can drive in also, so you got like a little bit of Roblox kind of feel into it as well. I do think a lot of kids are gonna like something like this because it does seem like it's the kind of game that my kid would want to play. But watching this trailer, like it took me right out, like completely out. It felt like something that I wouldn't be interesting to put in front of me. So you're saying like on the PC is a whole different story. So I got to take your word on that.
yeah, and I mean like even my PC, I probably shouldn't even try and run it on my PC because like I was actually talking to somebody at work today. I was like, yeah, I have a PC that can play games, and I have some games installed on my PC, but
Mm-hmm.
my PlayStation is going to run pretty much anything better than my PC will. And if that trailer was choppy and bad on the PS5 showcase trailer, it's gonna my 1070 Ti will melt inside of my computer. All right. So one of the other big ones you wanted to bring up was Alan Wake 2.
I just watched the trailer for that. I don't understand what the hell is going on.
It
So
seems like they're in a horror novel,
it feels
and
that
so
way.
the
It's
writer
kind of a
is like
mystery
just
also.
throwing shit at like the characters you're playing as, like as
Got that feeling too.
yeah. So I'm not a big horror dude, and I
You and me
didn't play
both, man.
Alan
I
Wake
want to play that
1.
game.
Well, like certain horror games I really want to play. So like Dead Space remake I really want to play, Callisto
Gods
Protocol
no.
I really want to play, and Resident Evil 4 remake I really want to play.
Okay, I would give that one a shot. The Resident Evil doesn't freak me out as much as the Dead Space. You lost your damn mind. Hell
Oh
no.
yeah, nah, I think I'd be down for some Dead Space.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah,
Couldn't
I
do it.
mean like
Nerves of steel you got there, man.
we
My anxiety would go nuts playing like that one game, like where like you get I forget the name of it. Like you're playing as the guy, you're hiding away from like from the dude with the sledgehammer and a chainsaw. You felt like
Outlast.
this. Is that Outlast? You said?
Yeah, I know Outlast, but I mean that you're describing probably like 30 million.
I
Like
know. Like there was a tons of lights out there like that. I know. Looking at it, it looks similar to this, but this isn't the one. Like you literally had to keep hiding from everybody the whole time. I cannot get caught. Like that was a whole like objective of the game. Like was to
Yeah.
not get caught by the person who's trying to like take you down. But again, that's like so many of the games out there right now. Like I can't do that. It'll no. God no. My heart would be going like a million miles a minute, man. Like I couldn't play a Splinter Cell game without that happening. So
so like for me, horror games, like I played through PT, and PT is one of the most legitimately terrifying things just like in existence. And it was Kojima's take on horror, but
who's take on horror?
Kojima. That was actually the first
No,
time he worked with Norman Reedus. So like it turns out
definitely.
like you were playing as Norman Reedus, and then that game got canceled because of Konami, and so that PT was eventually going to be Silent Hills. Like it ends with like Silent Hills, and it shows Norman Reedus like was the character you were playing as, and then Kojima left Konami, and Konami canceled all that stuff, and then he was like, "Well, I'm working with Norman Reedus already. Let's make this Death Stranding game."
Yeesh.
But yeah, let me.
I'm looking at the stills from this. It's whew, all right.
From PT.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good God. Game looks absolutely horrifying. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not big into horror games.
You were walking down this extremely realistically rendered hallway over and over, and things would change. Like doors would close, doors would open. There would be fetuses in the sink. Like the radio.
There'd be what?
There was like a
in the sink?
Yeah.
See, I'm interested, but I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. Well,
Oh
I mean,
my
it's
God.
it's almost impossible to play PT in the modern era. So like PT was released when Konami and Kojima were still good, but then when they had the fallout and they canceled Silent Hills, they delisted PT. And they delisted it in a way that if you didn't have it installed, you couldn't re-download it. Now there were like some third-party
Which one of those
workarounds, and I
things?
put PT and had it running on my PS4 Pro, but when I transferred over to PS5, I transferred like my data over, and PT wasn't playable. So we're back to
You
square
know,
one of not being able to play PT.
we we talked about. I'm taking a little break for talking about like the showcase just for 1 second, but we talked about the Mortal Kombat One. Rumors, so like the characters that are going to be in the game. Someone brought it to my attention. The Mighty Z. She brought it to my attention. Like all the characters in this are all men, and we start talking more about how there aren't many antagonistic women characters outside of Mortal Kombat. And she talked about how she would love to see some of the Dead by Daylight characters inside the Mortal Kombat game. And I wanted to ask you what you thought of that.
I know Dead by Daylight's a big like. I feel like Dead by Daylight has carved out its fan base. It's because there are things that are in Dead by Daylight now that were in Mortal Kombat. Like
Right.
Freddy and Jason have been in not Fortnite. I
In
need to
Mortal
just
Kombat, yeah.
minimize all the images of Fortnite on my screen, so I just stop calling everything Fortnite.
He's been sending me like Spider-Man Fortnite like stuff the entire time we've been doing this episode.
This is awesome. Like this is one of those collabs that's just like, yes, awesome. And I saw the music track. I didn't even know there was an unlockable music track. Apparently, if you do the week 11 challenges, you can get a track from Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 as your lobby music, which I need that.
But you said I'm talking about Dead by Daylight.
Oh, Dead by Daylight. Yeah. So Dead by Daylight had stuff that was in Mortal Kombat, but I think Dead by Daylight, like, because with all their Resident Evil content, all their Silent Hill content, like the fact that they're dipping into like all the horror IPs, I feel like they will do it justice better than Mortal Kombat potentially could. Because Mortal Kombat's gone in that direction before. And like if we want to talk about like female antagonists, like there's
Yeah.
a long list, especially when you get in like media targeted more towards females. Like Ursula is like a S tier villain, and she's female.
Ursula from.
Little Mermaid.
Okay, I thought that's what you were talking about. Okay, it wasn't a character I was pulling out of my hat. I'm very surprised to hear you say that one.
I
And
mean,
anyone else?
but I'm trying to think like Maleficent.
And see
Cause
that's where we went at first with Disney antagonists, and like
right,
I was thinking
yeah.
like somebody more relevant, and it's not easy finding relevant antagonistic women characters out there. It's like it's kind of a hard go.
I'm trying to think because like a lot of the media I consume is like targeted at males. So like I read the
Yeah,
shonen manga, so like I'm really trying to think cuz I mean some of the upper moon demons and demon slayer are female. So like if you want to go in that direction, high ranking Arankars and hollows in
Lady
Bleach.
Lady D would be a cool one.
Yeah, so I mean there are options like ones that would fit Mortal Kombat in particular. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think like I know there's probably a good one that's just like right there that I'm
right on
just
the tip of your
not
tongue.
thinking of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean
No, I
I
like it. I want to have this conversation more. I feel like I should probably just do a show with her and talk to her about this because I want to see that. I want to see more women antagonistic characters like in the Mortal Kombat world because they're so good at doing it. You know what I mean?
right. And that's the thing. I mean, we had Injustice. We've seen
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over how well they treat other properties. So I feel like with this kind of back to basics with Mortal Kombat 1, having Omni Man and like Homelander and
Homelander.
like going in the and Peacemaker like going in that kind of direction is an interesting way to go for this one. But I mean,
It
they're going to be
is.
more Mortal Kombat games. Like the fact that they
So
called
we,
this
we got
one,
time.
there's going to be a two, and most likely knowing
Exactly.
Mortal Kombat a three. So
More than likely.
like
In the game I was talking about before, where the guy was running around like trying not to get hurt, was the Evil Within. That was the game I was thinking of.
yes,
Yeah,
from the creators of
terrifying.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah, they
That
made
makes
the Evil Within 1, the Evil Within 2, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Hi-Fi Rush. That is Tango
that.
Gameworks' catalog of games.
That's a weird combination of games, dude.
I
Made me
mean,
cough. My God.
Japanese horror, you know.
Facts. Facts right there. We still got a lot more to cover on this PlayStation Showcase. Good God.
Yeah, we do. Look, I'm just so Metal Gear. We got Metal Gear Solid Triangle Snake Eater. So it's a remake of 3. Um, we don't know.
That was my
There
intro.
were
Right
there were
there.
like no details. We don't know who's making it. We don't know. We know it's
We know who's not.
multi-platform, so it's not even exclusive.
We know who's not making it.
Who, Kojima?
Yeah, he's not a part of it.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was to be expected, but it's the hope was it was Bluepoint working on it, and because Bluepoint are like the kings of like the remaster remake. They did Demon Souls. They did the Shadow of the Colossus remake. So, and I mean,
All just as exceptional as the original,
right.
if not better. Yeah.
So, but Bluepoint is now owned by PlayStation, and this was a PlayStation showcase, and they didn't say Bluepoint, and then Xbox after the fact was just tweeting. They were tweeting list of all the games that were shown at the PlayStation thing that are also coming to Xbox.
Of course they were. They have to. They really have to.
They were like Immortals of Avium, Ghostwire 2, like
we got that.
Phantom Blade Zero. Like
we got that one. Yeah, we got.
So they just went down the list. And I mean, that's kind of what I do after Xbox showcases. I'm like, all right, which ones of these are coming to PlayStation?
Yeah.
But PlayStation hasn't had the audacity so far to just make a handy graphic for you, you know?
Because they don't need to. I like that. They don't even have the audacity. And they don't. And they probably never will. Like, they're still a top dog right now. Well, yeah. Nintendo.
I'm looking for this handy graphic so you could just see how much of the showcase they were just like, yeah, also on Xbox.
No, please, I want to see this. And since we're talking about rebooted games on this part of the category, and I was waiting to get to this, I was hoping we were going to save these for last. The Marathon. This is my favorite. Oh my god, they actually made a graphic. Look at that. Good God.
That's a handy 12 games.
You gotta post this on Twitter.
Well, I mean, I sent you the tweet from @Xbox, so.
Is that what it is? Oh, it is a tweet. Okay. Oh my God. what a good looking group with sunglasses on. Xbox, come on, guys.
Oh wait, Alan Wake actually used the Arabic numeral? I didn't even notice. Oh, shout out. So they're in an esteemed club. Five Nights at Freddy's, Spider-Man, Alan Wake. Using the Arabic numerals.
Ghost Runner did a good job of using the Roman numerals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating on anybody using the
Roman I thought you were. I thought you were.
It was just kind of like a very evident reoccurring thing that it was like, there's a lot of sequels. This is a lot, but I mean, we know sequels sell. Like, if you were into Ghost Runner 1, which I was, you're in for Ghost Runner 2. If you were into Dragon's Dogma 1, like Radic was, you were in for Dragon's Dogma 2. If you were in for Alan Wake 1, you're in for Alan Wake 2. If you were in for the Talos Principle 1, you're in for the Talos Principle 2. If you were into Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 1, you're going to be into Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. It's just kind of like...
Since we're talking about sequels, like I had to go look at Hades and see what number setting
they definitely
used for that.
Roman numerals. Like,
they most definitely did. They most definitely did. Yes, they absolutely did.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's not going to stop me from playing Hades too.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because in that one day, I haven't even played the first. I didn't even know about it until the Game of the Year awards. Like, and that is one. It's on my radar for sure.
Hades.
I know.
Jeez. Hades is one of those games, like, I played it on early access on Epic Games Store, like, on someone else's computer, because I was like, this is just awesome. Like, I was already a big Supergiant fan off of Transistor, and they announced it at the Game Awards. They're like, early access, Epic Games Store, go on the Epic Games Store, set all that up for the first time, and then... from there, it was just like, all right. And since then, I think I have it on Switch, PlayStation, Steam Deck. Like, it's just... Hades 1 is just such a good game.
On it, then. I gotta get on
it. No. I've never beat it, to be fair. I've never beat it. But I've enjoyed...
Because it's too hard, or because you fell off?
A little bit of both. Like, it is ridiculously hard, and it being a roguelike, and you die and you're back to the beginning.
The beginning? Yeah. Old school gaming.
Yeah. But
that's kind of like what piques my interest. Like, I know I will get tired of it after a while because, it's old school gaming, but it just looks like such a fun game.
That's the thing. Like, the art and the music and the story carry it so much. Like, even when you're frustrated by, like, trying to escape hell, like, the game, just everything about the game around it is just so good.
Beautiful. It really is.
Got me wanting to play Hades now. Like, I don't have time.
I know. That's why we love. That's why we love gaming podcasts. That's why we love them. We got like three big contenders for Game of the Year this year, and like only one of them came out so far. And like yours, one of your top ones is on that list, but like one of your top seconds is on that list too. And like the really sneak about what this is, one that wasn't even on your radar that you weren't even going to purchase is now highly on your list. So Like, are you more excited for 16? Are you more excited for 2 right now? What's in the mind of Anton Sixxx right now?
So I know at the end of the year, it's probably going to go to 16 for me.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm thinking.
it's just, I've been waiting. I Everything they've shown has been the right thing. Like, unless it comes out and it's just a complete dud. Like, Tears of the Kingdom
Hard to
has
predict.
had some Game of the Year level moments, and it'll be in my top 5. That's guaranteed. Like, probably
For sure.
Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16. Uh, Let me see if I can call my top 5. Top 5
Go ahead.
in no particular order: Tears of the
All right.
Kingdom, Armored Core 6, Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6.
Okay. Okay. That mad respect on that. I can respect that, especially Armor Core. That's a sneak attack. I didn't see that one coming.
Oh
But
no,
like,
Armored Core
I
what?
like that.
Armored Core
Yeah,
is it's
I
from
didn't see it
software,
coming.
like
I
from
know.
the creators of Elden Ring. Like, I am super down for it, and like when they showed that trailer, wherever they showed that new Fires the Rubicon trailer, I was like, yeah, this looks awesome. So like, I was already kind of on board because like mechs are cool, but
I mean,
what they've
yeah, like
shown,
that's why. That's kind of why I didn't think like you were into it, because mechs are cool, but not everybody likes mechs, man.
we were talking about Gundam.
About Gundam, yeah, I remember it's coming back to me now. I know
A
it's got all
more
it's all
recent
flooding.
like Gundam. We were talking about Titanfall.
Guys, see, this is a show like how busy I am. Like, I'm dropping the ball and stuff.
The
We went into
mechs.
a whole thing
The
about that too.
mech.
Good guys, yes.
I'm here for the
Good
mechs.
damn.
Even if they're flesh mechs. Shout out Attack on Titan.
You still on it, right? You don't care. This looks good. I'm watching the Armor Core 4 right now, like that Fires Rubicon.
Well, that's 6.
It's 6, not 4. Got my Roman numerals messed
Right?
up. All those
See?
Roman
The
numerals
Roman
are
they
messing
got
up.
they got either go all in or all out. Pick a lane, video game. And
Geez.
movies too.
Gosh,
Movies
yes.
are just
In movies.
all over the place with their numerals. All right, so
I guess they have some cool gear.
I'm gonna look. Okay, so Marathon. Did you
Go
play
ahead.
the original Marathon?
I'm trying to find some footage from it, and I can't find anything. I'm looking. I can't find anything from the original.
Just type in Bungie Marathon. I want to say it was a Mac exclusive, but like I remember getting into Halo and getting into Bungie and then getting into Destiny and hearing about Oni and Marathon. And those were the two that were just kind of like, those were the before times. And now that Sony owns Bungie, like Marathon, and it's looking like it's an extraction shooter, it just looks cool in general.
Yeah.
Like Destiny, they had the coolest transition of the entire showcase because they did all the Marathon stuff. They showed the Bungie logo, and then the Bungie logo shifted from the Marathon style to the Destiny style, and they went into they're bringing back Cade 6, which I know people.
Everyone's talking about that on YouTube right now. Yeah.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion's back. Like they're really going hard with this. But I realized the other day, I think I'm done with Destiny. Like, I don't see a reason to go back. Like, I have my MMO of choice in Final Fantasy, and so
All right.
Destiny, like, it was a great game, still has great shooting, but it's just like the seasonal model and the constant chase and constant grind, and like, it's just not like, if I'm going to be constantly chasing and constantly grinding for stuff, I play Final Fantasy 14 and Monster Hunter. So both those check boxes are ticked for me. And like, as far as shooting goes, like, I'm either in Fortnite or like, if I really want some decent gunplay, as much as I don't want to play it, I'd play some Apex Legends.
Oh.
But yeah,
Done.
Marathon, I'm in for. Like, still a Bungie fan. At the end of the day, like, I respect what they're doing over there with Destiny. I was on the Destiny train for a really long time. Played a lot of Destiny, but I just think the point Destiny 2's gotten to, it's like they were appealing to a fan base that didn't include me. Like,
They were doing the Fortnite thing. No, I got you. Yeah.
well, the Fortnite thing, like, they are very much appealing to me.
But in reverse, like the way they try to appeal to the broader audience, like they did not put you in that category for the broader audience.
Right,
Yeah.
because that wasn't who was like. Destiny will still try and get their pops of mainstream. Like, they do their about once a year, like, major, like, content drop, but like the seasonal model, the people that support them in the seasonal model and like buy the
Yeah.
microtransactions and stuff, those are the people that they're catering to. And I mean, it makes sense. They're the people giving you the bulk of your money. So, like, and I mean, Bungie's always been great with like community, like responding to community feedback. So yeah, it's, they know their community and their community wants what they're giving them. But like, as somebody who's gone in and tried to like get with the newer stuff in Destiny 2, like, yeah, the campaigns are cool, but then the seasonal stuff, like, even if it has a compelling story, even if it has like all this stuff, like, I just feel like it's keeping you on this treadmill, which if you're in, that's great. Like, you have content and there's stuff for you to do, but for me, like, where I just kind of like occasionally want to check in, it's not great for
Right.
that.
I
And I
get
mean,
you.
no game with a seasonal model really is. Like, Fortnite, I'm all in, like, on a season by season basis. I'm either all in or all out, but I can't keep up with that many battle passes. I can do like max 2, and that's when I have a lot of free time. But like lately, I've been busy, and so
I mean, yeah, you got you got a lot of games on your list.
yeah, and then just a lot of life on my plate at the same time. Like, Controllerize
Yeah.
is back. Went to Controllerize. Didn't get to play any Zelda or anything that night, and then
Can I
know,
ask about that? Like how that was for you?
oh yeah, man, Controllerize is great. Like, everything that has come since that was in the style, like, we knew deep down it paled in comparison, but like being there, being in the midst of it, like,
Yeah.
yeah, Controllerize is back every Monday Night Garage here in Atlanta. Like, if you are into black nerd culture in Atlanta, that's the place to be.
Like when I came back to Georgia, I think it's some 7 odd years ago. Like that was definitely the place that people were talking about, like nerd wise, like was hitting up Controllerize. It didn't have like a huge following. It was kind of like an open space from what I remember. But that's where I heard everyone like who was a nerd to play games. That's where they went. So like I need to hit it up. I am sorry I missed the opportunity to get there. But
I mean,
it's the
it's every
last week of
Monday.
school.
It's back. It
So
is back. There will be a Monday. We'll plan. We'll go. Like, I can't
got
do
it.
it week to week. Like, I used to go every single week. Can't do that anymore. Like, definitely, I'm still feeling the toll of it Wednesday night of being out and up that late Monday night. So,
Can we talk about like the next big thing that's going on
yeah.
with you in conventions? Because you're saying this like how like Controller took a lot out of you. Those con room floors are no joke, my friend.
Right. So I will be at MomoCon with the press pass. I'll only be there Saturday because it's a very busy weekend, and the fact that
Okay.
it literally starts tomorrow from recording, and like, if I had known I would be getting a 4-day press pass
Still a different
before,
thing.
like, because it was like Tuesday. So it's Wednesday right now. Tuesday night, I get the email. I'm like, okay, cool. And then it's like, it's Wednesday, and then the con starts tomorrow, Thursday. So I'm like, if I needed to plan, like, if I didn't live in the vicinity, like, what I would I have just, because I was planning on buying a ticket. Like, I was like, I'll just buy a 1-day pass, go Saturday, see some people, hang out, like have dress up, like go out, like cosplaying with my wife, like have that time, and So I was gonna buy it, but then it was like, cool. They sent me the instructions like on where to pick up my press pass, and I'm just like, okay.
Well, I still haven't gotten mine. I'm not sure if I will or not. It's irrelevant. But if you're
I
going, it,
you had like for a peek
you
behind the
use my
curtain,
credentials to get there.
I
Yeah.
filled it out for D, and I used better numbers on D,
No, right?
and D
What the?
has like more of a web presence than me, and somehow, and I filled his out first, and somehow, because I was when I got it, I was like, oh, okay, so D definitely got his. Like I really have. Did you get blacklisted somewhere, D? Did
I
you?
don't know.
You
I,
pissed
I
somebody
have
in
a
the
habit of pissing
MomoCon?
people off.
Yeah,
I haven't.
you
I
pissed
have
them.
not habit.
They get your name across the FTO Nerd Talk.
Never in my Momo card. Never.
Well, I mean, if you get some time Saturday and you want to like show up and hang out, I'm not
That
sure
might be
what
a
the
good idea.
vibe is like in the general area. I don't know what things you need a pass for,
It's
what things you don't.
it's so open at that place. It's like really open. The outside is a good place to take photographs. This is for, like, for
Yeah,
those of you who may be going, but the outside is a great spot to take some photographs at. The inside is very open. A lot of different panels inside there, like tons. I mean, like you can just get lost with just sitting down and just listening to people talk about like whatever the topic is, and
yeah.
and it's a good vibe. A lot of cool cosplays. Um, don't bring any weapon looking like cosplay because this is Atlanta and the security here can be a little,
See, I'll
little
give
it
you a
can.
little bit of a preview of my cosplay.
Oh, I'm in. I'm in
This
for
is the only
this.
weapon I need.
You are not.
It's the only weapon I need.
Of course you are. Of course. Why wouldn't you? For those of you who can't see, he has like a fingerless glove on right now. So if you can
It's
put that together, I think, if you get what that means, you get what that means. Like I'm pretty sure all of the Square Enix or Square Soft fans out there would get what's going on right now. So.
Well, the fingerless glove, like even the character I'm cosplaying as. So I guess we could put it because we're not streaming this, and odds are it won't be out
It
by
won't be up.
the day
Probably
after
Monday.
tomorrow. Right.
I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
my wife and I were doing Beast Boy and Raven of Teen Titans and Titans fame.
Nice.
So, like I
I'll
know
take
he
it there.
wears like silver gloves, but I'm taking creative liberties with the cosplay because
Oh,
I'm not
are you
doing
gonna
green
paint your
face.
body green?
No,
Okay. All right.
but I do have green hair wax, so I'm going to do my beard and my hair.
So you're gonna go more Titan style Beast Boy, not Teen Titans Beast
Right.
Boy. Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
but I got like a belt with like a big buckle. Like it's great.
Is there a T on it?
No, there's not. And I'm contemplating because I could do it, but like might not want to do it. I'll decide when I actually have the belt in hand.
I tell you this, man. If you do go there, the nerd feelings will kick in, and you're gonna want to buy a lot of stuff. You're gonna want to take a lot of pictures, and you're gonna not want to leave. I can tell you that right. I'm not sure how many cons you've been to, but like for me, all the multiple cons I went to last year, I didn't want to leave any of them. I wanted to buy everything, and I wanted to be friends with everyone. It's a good vibe at these places. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I used to go to MomoCon back when it was free and on Georgia Tech's campus. Like,
This guy, I bet you did.
yeah, throwback back in the day. You know, when you're in
Right
high
on.
school, a free anime convention. Hell
On
yeah.
it.
Yeah, all over it. So I went back then, but then kind of like in adult, like I've like moved away from it, and then like the past
Yeah.
couple of years, even being with Angelina, like with COVID and everything, like cons just kind of haven't been in the picture. But like this year, I was like, I was gonna get with you, try and figure out this press pass thing. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
even if it fell through, we got our
I can
cosplay.
I can get a ticket for one day. Yeah, I can do it Saturday for sure. And like some of my people are gonna be there. I know Urban Sama is gonna be there. Be Nice or Else is gonna be there from Blurred United. So they're gonna be like tons of cosplayers that follow gonna be there as well. So it'd be nice just to show up to hang out there for a little bit. And like it's a Saturday, so like my day is gonna be not as stressful as it usually is. So well, yeah, I'll do it. I'll be there.
All right, cool. So yeah, for the people that hear this after the fact, hopefully you caught up with us at MomoCon.
Yeah, hopefully like you get the video and picture bomb that I give you guys on Instagram and Twitter too. So there you go.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be
Yeah.
doing my Instagram story. Like I have to get better at taking pictures with like my phone camera and then putting them on my Instagram story because the Instagram camera is just not as snappy and not as.
God no, it's awful.
And then like saving it out of Instagram is never like as good as like having the original copy. So
I'll give you a word for a wise Anton. Like, just don't do that at all. Like, that's the worst possible option. To save stuff on Instagram, it compresses it.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Yeah.
So, but sometimes like it'll be I'm in the moment, take a picture for the Instagram story. It's on the Instagram story, and then the worst part is when you forget and they're just gone. You gotta wait for like a year later and hope that it's in your memories and you get a chance to
see it again. Yeah.
But I mean, I think my Instagram story, like, because of disposable content, I just throw news on there. I'll throw like just like art on there. The way I use my Instagram story, I just need to be better about using it IRL. Like, I think as far as like the sharing content and like that end of it, like, we're good. But on the like, I'm somewhere and I'm at an event and I'm taking pictures, and I just need a better way of getting like that entire process to be a thing.
We'll get there. We'll definitely get there.
All right.
I think did we wrap up the PlayStation Showcase? I had a question for you.
Well, there's one section I kind of want to boo. They talked about the Project Q and the earbuds, and
I was going to ask you about that. I like the gear. Like, dude, what do you think about the Q?
So my AirPods are old, and I need new ones. But like, my AirPods are perfectly fine. But if I'm gaming, where's my head? I'm wearing my headset. I'm like, where did I put my headset? On my head.
Is it on your head? Is it on your head, Anton?
It's normally around the mic arm, so you saw me like
looking for it.
But like when I'm gaming, like I got a good headset. So
I'm the same way. Like I tried doing podcasts like that also with just earbuds. I used to do like the wired ones back in the day, headphones with the mic attached to it, over the head. Like you got it. It's
like
feeling.
For me, like AirPods are completely fine, but like the thing with AirPods is they're probably going to be better than these PlayStation branded ones. I know Sony makes really good headphones and stuff, but I just don't see any of that tech. Those are going to be overpriced for what they are, and they're probably not going to be the best. Like,
see, I gotta see you saying this now. I gotta take part in a review when they come out for sure.
Oh yeah, if you get product like hands on, and then the Project Q, I have a backbone, a PlayStation branded already. My phone over Wi-Fi can stream my PlayStation 5 at 1080p. So I already.
That's why they're doing it though. That's why like they got this
for who? Like the huge market out there that has a PS5 but not a smartphone.
For all those people who've been buying those backbones all year last year, that's it. Because I'm pretty sure Backbone had to make some money from that. They had to.
Right, but Backbone worked officially with PlayStation, so like that's the thing. I don't get who, like, the price point has to be like dirt cheap for it to make sense for anybody. Because
to do this, yeah.
the thing is, you need a Wi-Fi connection. And then on top of that, like, it's just remote play streaming. It's not playing anything locally. So the fact that it's only remote play streaming means you have to have a PS5, that you have to have a good enough internet connection to connect to it, turn it on, and sustain gameplay. Like, your PS5 will be doing all the processing, but if you're not, like, I have had problems remote playing my PS5 that is right here on my phone sitting at my desk. And I have great Wi-Fi. That's the other part of it. So I'll
tell you this.
I say
how much they made in 2022. They made 6.5 million, and like the year before that,
who Backbone?
2 years before that, they made
But why?
2 years before
what I don't get is, I guarantee what they put out will not be cheaper than a Backbone. So why don't you just buy it?
Yeah.
Well, it'll probably be more comfortable because, like, looking at it, it really is the DualSense around it. So, like, it has more of the ergonomics, whereas, like, the Backbone doesn't have as much in the, like, ergonomics department. But, I mean, this seems to be, like, a play at convenience, and the most convenient thing for me to have access to at almost all times is my phone. And I can do everything that the Q-Lite can do on my phone, and then all the myriad of other things I can do, where that's a dedicated device just for remote playing your PS5. And it's not going to be as cheap as getting a Backbone. So that's how I feel about it. I think, like, if that's an experience you want, because Backbone is now available for Android. Like, it's just now happening where, like, you have more options of phones to use. Like, at first it was only, like, specific models of iPhones, and now it's expanding out because, like, the Android one has to be able to account for more phones. So, like, that's my thing. If you want to remote play your PS5 that badly, buy yourself a Backbone, pop your phone into it, and the PlayStation Remote Play app is super easy to set up, and it's free on your app store of choice. So
you sound very, very gung ho about this. I like it.
I remember when this was rumored, and I was saying, I was like, I hope the streaming only thing isn't true, because, like, the American government still treats the internet like it's a privilege, not like a utility or a basic human right like it should.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And so I could see, like, probably somewhere like Japan, where you have just, like, great internet everywhere, and, like, that'd be a viable thing for you to do. But, like, I have gig speeds, I have fiber, and it's still not, like, that great of an option for me. So, with the tech that I have, so I'm not going to spend money on additional tech to do things that I can already do, just in a slightly more ergonomic way.
I'm looking up the price.
They haven't announced
the Backbone itself.
Oh, the Backbone?
Yeah, they haven't announced
100.
It. Yeah, I'm looking at the price of the Backbone is $100, but I'm also on a website, Dexter Toe. I never heard of this.
Dexerto.
But
I've heard of them.
You've heard of it, okay?
Yeah.
And they're speculating that the price for this would be $200.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If you already own a smartphone, you can pay half the price and have a similar or better experience using your phone. So that's and I mean, the earbuds are probably going to be more expensive within the same price range as AirPods, and you can just get a much higher quality experience getting AirPods.
I cannot wait for this to come out, just so we can talk about it, just so I can hear your reaction to it. Like, that's
I mean, if that's the thing, if Sony wants to send us some as, like, review units, I'd be down for that. I'm not paying
I
for
give it a
these
shot.
things. You're gonna buy them?
No, I mean, hell no. You crazy?
That's
Like, I
what
wouldn't say
I'm
I'm cheap,
like.
but like I'm crafty with my money. I don't make bad investments, man. Let's put it that way. So
Right.
no, like this could blow up in my face.
I'm just looking at this thing and I'm just so disappointed in the direct. So that's something I'll say. I'm semi disappointed in the direction PlayStation has been and is heading in
You
because,
get that
like,
completely.
while we do have things like Spider-Man 2, which will be like our last big topic, because there are some actual questions I had about specific Spider-Man things that I wanted to ask you in
Okay,
particular. Like, you're my go-to comic book guy, so. But
I love being that person. Right on.
yeah, the PlayStation, they have dropped their emphasis on indies, and while indies will still be there, like it's not the focus. They've dropped their emphasis on like they still have their big AAA, big budget blockbuster showcase games, but they're taking longer and longer to come out. Like, and I feel there's like a lower and middle tier of Sony that we had for a really long time that like helps sustain. So when like the big games are rolling out at the top, there were smaller things like in between. And I mean, we're still getting some of those things. Like Humanity is a PlayStation like console exclusive, so we're still getting stuff like that. But
Right.
I just feel like we're heading in this, and they've talked about their live service, like multiplayer, like kind of direction they're trying to head in. And that just, for me personally, like, true, I do play all my live service, like, third party games on PlayStation. It's just not what I'm. It's not what I want Sony to like be eyeballing. Like Marathon looks cool and all, but did they really have to buy Bungie?
Hmm.
And I mean, to be fair,
They
Marathon's coming
didn't.
to Xbox and Switch and PC, and it's going to have full cross-play and cross-progression because they made a lot of those systems with Destiny. So now they
So that means like the
understand
bulk
it.
of the money they're gonna make is just gonna go right back to Sony too, though. So
Yeah, so there's also the entire like the reason they bought Bungie is because Bungie kind of were the pioneers of games as a service in a certain way, in a lot of ways.
right.
And so having that expertise in house and like, but like Ghost of Tsushima, like, yeah, they're like, Legends is cool, but I feel like Legends or Ghost of Tsushima 2 is taking longer because they're fleshing out Legends more. And I'm sure like it'll be great and it'll be fun to play. It's just Sucker Punch. Like they just closed Pixel Opus and ended support for Dreams from Media Molecule. Like those are the tier of things that I'm talking about that is just Sony's moving away from, and I don't want to see them move away from it.
Hmm. Like you're still like all aboard on Sony, even if that does happen. I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to Xbox. I'm not crazy. All right. What are my
Gotcha.
options?
I mean, you can be like a Switch guy. You can just do that the entire time. Like never.
I can be a Switch guy. I'm not trying to be a Switch guy. Like, no offense to
No,
Switch
no,
guys out there, but like, I'm definitely not a Switch guy.
you ain't about that life. No, I get you. But I hear your concerns. Like they do sound valid. So like like they are making some changes. But I heard someone talk about this before, like about PlayStation making these changes, and it seems more like they're making these changes because they can make these changes, and like they're just testing the waters. They're trying to grow, trying to see what they can and can't do because they got like they're winning right now. So like I get the concern. I get that way with comics and sometimes TV shows, but at the end of the day, like as long as like they're trying something new and trying to keep it fresh, that's what matters to me.
Yeah, and I mean, third parties will come in and fill the gaps. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we lack a good Sony first party shooter, but we have Call of Duty, we have Destiny, we have Apex, we have, like, the list goes on and on and on and on
Yeah,
and on
yeah,
and
it
on and
does.
on. So, like, yeah, the third parties will. And I mean, they bought Firewalk Studio, and Concord looks interesting, even though they showed damn near like nothing. It was some plants, and then like the dashboard of a spaceship, and then some sort of space anomaly, and that was it. Like, it tells you nothing about the game, no gameplay, no like space. Cool, gotcha, check.
And then on to the next.
It had a cool logo treatment. I will give it that. And I mean, I'm going to keep my eye on it because Sony went out and bought Haven. So the first game they showed, the Fair Games, that is Haven. So they bought Haven and Firewalk recently. And I guess this was their time to show what they've been working on. And I feel like Haven showed a bit more, but there wasn't like raw gameplay. There wasn't like anything that would like actually denote the quality of the game. And then with Firewalk, there was even less of that. And like looking outside of that, we've seen what they are doing with Nixes. We've seen what they're doing with Housemark and with, because I was expecting to see something from Housemark, because while we did just get what's the name of the game? It just went out of my head. Housemark Space Astronaut Roguelike Hell Planet. Damn it. What is Returnal? Returnal is the Housemark game. So we just got Returnal from Housemark, and relatively speaking, and we just got Demon Souls from Bluepoint, and those are the other two acquisitions Sony made. So like this show, a lot of the first party stuff we saw was like, okay, we bought Insomniac, we're going to show their stuff. We bought Firewalk, we're going to show their stuff. We bought Haven, we're going to show their stuff. We bought Bungie, we're going to show their stuff. So it was kind of like a
flex. It sounds like here you say
they
like,
could have flexed harder. That's my one problem, is they could have flexed so much harder, and they didn't.
You think like they're waiting for the end of the year to do something like that? Like
no, I mean like they had this. What this didn't feel like a PlayStation showcase. This felt like a hour-long extended state of play.
Yeah, it did. Agreed.
And like I thought the reason we had differentiations between state of plays and PlayStation showcases was because PlayStation showcase are for your like megaton drops, and state of plays are kind of for like your smaller, more medium third party, like even like
a helpful reminder is what a state of play you. It's how I'm interpreting them to be like. Here's your helpful reminder of what's coming out in the coming months.
Right. And this felt like just an hour-long one of those, and
it did.
That's not what I was hoping for going into this.
I do think the game is changing a little bit, though. Like, you know, the internet is a little bit more accessible than it was like in the past couple of years. Like the fans are more tuned in to what's on YouTube and Twitter. Like they get it as soon as it comes out, and watching it live is not as predominant as it used to be for some people. And like also we got like what is it? Is it Summer Bash that's coming out pretty soon with the gaming?
Oh, the Summer Games Fest. Yeah, that's next week.
Summer Game Fest, like that's coming soon too. So like I hear you on the timid. It was timid, and like they are putting on a lot of stuff with a lot of names that they own in house. But I feel like that summer game bash is like where not only
this was their part. This was their opportunity in this window to show what they got, and yeah, it's just like I don't think Xbox is gonna go harder than them, but the fact that they were at a level that I feel like is even possible for Xbox to go harder than them, like That's not the
Doesn't.
level we need PlayStation operating at. We need PlayStation operating at the level of, like, we're going first. It doesn't matter what Xbox shows because they can't beat us. That is not the kind of, like, push that I got out of this.
I mean, we say that, but like, what happened to like the state of play we saw back in?
That was a state of play, and that was fine, but that wasn't a PlayStation showcase. And
It
that's
was
the
an
difference.
It was an embarrassment though. Like with fucking Kill
Suicide
the
Squad?
Suicide Squad.
But I mean,
That
that's
wasn't a
smaller.
big
Like, that's easier to, like, water off the back. Like, that's a lot easier. Because it's a smaller thing. They set the expectations for state of plays to be these smaller things, and it's like, not everything's going to be for everybody. And yeah, they marketed a bad game, but.
And we talked about it for what? We talked about that for 2 weeks. Like Gaming Fan talked about that game for 2 whole weeks about how poor that game was, and then like we heard like a month later that like it's not coming out till next year.
Right.
Like it was a big L. I think they knew that L. They looked at it. It's like
yeah, but then turned around and did this. This is not the solution to the L's.
You may be right. It's not. Like they should have gone hard. Like and just went full.
Right. They could have shown us. We know there's a Last of Us multiplayer game in development. They could have shown us that. They could have shown us. There were just so many things that they could have done. That they
to make up for that. Yeah. No, I hear you. They could have made up for that state of play that went sour. Instead, they played it safe. It worked for them. Not disagreeing with it. It worked for them. Like, state of play worked for them, but like, they could have gone a little bit harder. I hear you.
All right, so on to the last game they showed.
Go.
Well, before the sizzle reel, and this was after the hardware announcements. They showed Spider-Man 2. And I was super worried because I knew they showed the PlayStation Studios logo, and then the dude that was hunting Kraven at the very beginning of the trailer looked like he was fresh out of Horizon Zero Dawn. And I was like, no, we do not need more Horizon. No, like, really? That's your big closer. More Horizon? No thing. Like,
that's funny. You sound like me when we were talking about the Lobo character last week. Like, no, we don't want that for Lobo. And like, no, we don't want that for Kraven. And like, you see a guy behind him who looks even bigger than he is, and he's Kraven, and he looks like how you think Kraven should look. So yeah.
Well, no, I knew the guy wasn't Kraven. What I was worried is because they showed the dude, he had like head tattoos and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Very Horizon. And I thought it was going to be a Horizon spin-off game. That was going to be their last big thing. I was like, that would have been, ooh, man, that would have taken this from like, I say this is like a low B tier. That would have taken it straight to a F tier. Like, if your closer is Horizon, that's F tier, like, territory right there.
Oh wait, you give like the 10-minute preview we saw for this a B is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I'd say as far as the showcase, it's a low B. Like, I won't say like B minus, C plus, like
as a whole. Is
yes.
What you're saying. Not Spider-Man 2.
Oh no, Spider-Man, that was a S tier. Like,
you scared me for a second there. All right. Like,
oh no,
what? Did we see the same fucking game, dude? Because that was insane.
Oh no, I had to send it to you, and like we started recording a little bit later.
Yeah.
Because like you had to see it. Like, as a comic book guy, I couldn't let you.
100% correct. It was beautiful. Like the suit that Spider-Man is wearing is, oh my god, it's like it got such weird detail to it, but like it's very comic booky at the same time. You get to see Miles inside of it, and like the
well, Miles isn't. We see Miles in the game, but not in this suit. And so, when we talked about Spider-Man 2 originally, I remember saying that because it is Harry Osborn in the first game that has the symbiote.
That's right.
And so, and there were hints that Norman Osborn was going to become the Green Goblin, and that I thought that Harry Osborn was going to become Venom. But judging by, so the gameplay we got was about a 10-minute gameplay section that seemed like one full story mission, beginning to end.
played out so well. It just played out so well. Like it wasn't slow. Like it really like pushed like your gaming skills. It had like a lot of different elements that you've seen from other games inside of it, from Horizon. Like I know like you were just talking about it, but like from Horizon, from Batman, like from even God of War inside like this preview. Like it was a lot of different like AAA type level games in this, and like my goodness, man, it was just fun. Like
Yeah. And that was the thing about Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Like, these games have just been fun. They've just
God,
they've been pure video games. They're not pushing the boundaries. They're not like these great technical feats, whatever. Like, but they're just fun video games about cool superheroes. And
yeah.
that's all I was
Like
expecting out of Spider-Man 2. Like, we haven't seen a minute of gameplay before these 10 minutes. And
so,
I knew, but now there's more of an emphasis on like more using more special attacks. Like, just seeing the
yeah, the
symbiote
combo.
stuff
Oh
that
my
Pete
god.
was using.
Like doing like the four symbiote attack against different people. I'm not sure like if that was like that was toward the end of that segment of the game, or like you can actually do that in game.
Yeah,
Regardless, it was awesome.
that's going to be a cuz you have suit powers like kind of ultimate abilities and stuff like that you get over the previous two games. So that looks completely in line with one of the power-ups you'd get from probably getting to that point in the story. So what is I know the black suit has to do with the symbiote,
Right.
and like I need to just get this complete through line together so I can like better understand where we stand with the game. So the symbiote was not originally a Spider-Man thing.
The symbiote is a rock that comes from outer space, and it crash landed on Earth after some astronauts went to, I think it was the moon, and brought it back with them.
Okay.
Like the symbiote, like tried like they brought it back as a sample. The symbiote escaped, like made the spaceship crash, and it just started wandering until it found Spider-Man,
Okay,
and like he,
so the fact that it was on Harry Osborn in the last game, what can it only have one host?
it can
Is
have
it because
it's attracted to. Like it attracted to Peter Parker because like it saw like the aggression he was going through, and then like it went to Eddie Brock in the comics because of the same reason, because the aggression that he was showing, and it just attached to him. So like it usually get attached to aggression. That's why you saw in the game Peter was like kind of like cold, kind of distant, because it's bringing that aggression that he has inside of him. It's bringing all that out, and it keeps on doing that until like usually it makes your the suit makes you morph into like a whole different persona. So like you'll
yeah,
look
and I mean
different.
that like hearing those lines and hearing like the delivery of those lines, that is not the Peter Parker that I played
No,
as in the first game. You can tell that like it's the same voice actor, but
the tone is very different, and it's cool to see this because it's almost like they're letting Peter do his own thing in this game, and they're like letting Miles try like play detective to see how he's gonna figure this out because he is the newcomer. But like it's also making it both of their games at the same time, and it's to me as a story guy, that's genius in my eyes, man. Like that is like some primo storytelling, very straight up out of comics, and the fact that you get to play this and you got to take on Craven and all of his henchmen at the same time, along with the lizard and possibly other bad guys inside of it, hell yes.
well, yeah. I mean, Green Goblin's been teased at. We know Venom is gonna. So
Oh,
Venom is a completely different person. That's not like the symbiote trying to like copy Spider-Man.
in a way, Eddie Brock hated Spider-Man because he ruined his life. But like, if you read the comic books, Brock ruined his own life. But he created a persona of Venom based off Spider-Man, but he wanted to do Spider-Man better than he was. And Brock was also like a bodybuilder on top of it, so that's why like the bulkness came from also. But like the symbiote is infatuated with Spider-Man because like that was like he's like the symbiote sees like as like his greatest host until Brock showed up, and like he did use like some of the elements from Spider-Man with Venom, and they came up with that name together. Venom and Brock, they both created that name. Like we are Venom. That's why they say we instead of I, like Carnage and Cassidy, because they're crazy. They're both insane.
Yeah, and I know Carnage. I probably just need to watch the Venom movie
That's a good
and
goal.
Venom
If you
Let
got this
There Be
plus,
Carnage just to try and like understand because
watch the Spider-Man animated series. I feel like that'd be a better way to go about it. Like the one on Disney Plus, the older. I know it's a little bit older, probably a little bit dated, but like it's they ripped that from the comics. So like the story that you're gonna be seeing like from that Spider-Man animated series, it's the same story that you read in the comic books also. So I feel like if you do like go to a story that has Venom, the Spider-Man animated series with Christopher Daniel Barnes, like who did the voice of Spider-Man, is probably the better option to go with.
okay.
And
Well,
yeah,
yeah, I'll definitely pull that up on Disney Plus like after we wrap. So, I don't know if you remember my pitch for what this game was going to be. It was going to be you play as Peter up to a certain point where he gets the symbiote like on him and then I thought he would like I don't know that I thought that Peter would turn into Venom. Or that he would just like lose control of the symbiote or like what because I gotta like just seeing this and seeing the fact that Peter is still Spider-Man after like obviously there are story things that happen with the symbiote before we get to
yeah.
this point, but yeah, it is cool that like in the exact same mission they're seamlessly a lot of times switching between Peter and Miles because they're working together like as a tag team, and that's something that's really cool to see because like you saw it in Into the Spider Verse, but I mean as far as in the games they were separate. Like in Spider-Man 1, Miles essentially finds out he has powers towards the end of that game, and you never actually well you play as Miles but not using his power, not as Spider-Man. You play as Miles,
I
and
think that's like one of the coolest part. Like that Miles is Miles. Like he's no slouch in this. He may be like not knowing what's going on with Peter in that 10 minutes that we saw, but like he can hold his own still in
oh
battle. Like
yeah,
and
well,
that
I
was
mean, and
good.
that was the thing of playing Spider-Man Miles Morales is because in Spider-Man 2016 you were just playing as Peter, and then in Spider-Man Miles
Mm-hmm.
Morales you were just playing as Miles, and then now, oh man, these suit customizations across the two Spider-Man, like it's gonna be
Show
awesome.
me some. Yeah, you showed me some. Like they're gorgeous, man. So yeah, like I'm here for it.
All right, Peter had really good suits, Miles had really good suits, but now we have the option of playing around with the black suits.
uh, for those of you who want to know, if you want to like the origins of the black suit from Spider-Man and you like want to read the comic books, Secret Wars is the best place to go for that. The story, in my personal opinion, isn't the strongest story in Marvel comic books, but they created that comic book just to sell toys. Just to put all that out there for all of you who wondering why I'm even talking about this if I thought it wasn't good. They created that just to sell toys and to get Spider-Man like that dark black suit, and it didn't have like the same kind of properties that it does later on, like the aggression, making him super stronger. Like all that happened after when like he came back to Earth and all that. But if you want to read where the suit first came from, Secret Wars. That's where you go.
I'm looking. This is not being helpful at all. I was looking to see if there were any other like Spider-Man video games that were like readily accessible, but
Mm-hmm.
this list it only showed me Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and it didn't even show me Spider-Man 2016 or Miles Morales. So this fan site I'm on is just
Not
utterly
helpful. It sounds
useless.
like
Well, I mean, it's
not
useful for the other things I typically use it for, but it's just for that one particular thing, it's just not doing the job right now.
Let
But
me see. He appeared in Massimo Carnage, Spider-Man and Venom: Maximum Carnage. He appeared in Venom and Spider-Man: Separation Anxiety, The Amazing Spider-Man: Lethal Foes, Ultimate Spider-Man. Venom made an appearance. I'm on Wikipedia, by the way, just so you guys know. And Spider-Man: Friends and Foe. Spider-Man: Webs of Shadows. It's I can keep going. No, I can't keep going. Like I'm almost done. Spider-Man: Edge of Time and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Those are the games that put them.
So, yeah, I'm really excited for Spider-Man 2. I know it's going to be pure fun. It is like after Final Fantasy 16. I know that's my fall game. I know Spider-Man is the big one. Like we got Armored Core also coming in fall, but I think that's August. So September, it's looking like it's going to be Spider-Man season.
I mean, I think it is too. And hopefully, I have my PlayStation by then, so I can hop in with you guys and do like the Spider-Man thing, because this game really does look like fun. And I had to stop myself from watching the full Ragnarok of God of War Ragnarok. I had to stop myself from watching that, so I still don't know what happens. And thankfully, it hasn't been spoiled for me. So there's that too. But I really want to play that game.
Well, you just said on the internet that it hadn't been spoiled, so people are definitely going to spoil it for you now. But
thanks, man. That algorithm's gonna find me now. My phone's right next to me too. The first thing I want to see on TikTok is like, here's the spoilers to God of War Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, you use TikTok. TikTok is just a weaponized algorithm.
Yeah, it knows everything that you're doing. Most definitely. I literally like talk to my wife's phone when she says something that she doesn't know. Like, find this thing for Jessica, and like no lie, no more like than maybe a day later, it will pop up on her feed and she'll send it to me. Like, hey, there you go. Like it hears you. It always hears you.
Yeah. So, I mean, if there's anything else you want to talk about, we can.
The question I was going to ask you, you've already talked about it, so it's fine. Like
Okay.
we've already gone into it and like had like a whole back and forth about it. But what game stood out to you most? Like besides Spider-Man 2, what game stood out to you the most?
The Zero game. What's it called? Phantom Blade Zero. Phantom Blade Zero was definitely the highlight. That is one that was not on my radar before. If like it had even been announced before this, I hadn't heard about it, but it is definitely on my short list of, because I think that said 2024. So that is on my list of anticipated games for next year. All like just off of the short like 2-minute trailer they gave us.
Then that's my answer too. Like the Dragon Dogma looks cool. Assassin's Creed. I'm an Assassin's Creed fan, so like that looks cool to me too. Even the VR was surprisingly interesting.
Yeah,
like,
the VR games. So I can just go through the list. They had Resident Evil 4, Arizona Sunshine 2, which looked like that's a 2. So if you were into Arizona Sunshine 1, probably in for Arizona.
All you two VR, the two of you out there, all you VR fans out there.
I mean, I was a VR fan. I just think PSVR 2 is prohibitively expensive. Like, for what it is. Because you could, for like half the price, get yourself an Oculus Quest. And, like, that's the thing. Like, when it's a pure numbers game, 90% of the time with this thing, with these, like, luxury gaming items, and PSVR 1 was a good price at a good time, like, and had good content. I'm not saying PSVR 2 doesn't have a good like content roadmap, but like inflation, like we're heading into a recession, it's just not, and like it is just materially more expensive than a PSVR 1 was, because a PS5 is more expensive than a PS4 was. And then the headsets on their own are more expensive this time around. So like there's content on there that looks interesting. Like I'd love to play Tetris Effect in VR powered by a PS5, and like by all accounts it's one of the best gaming VR experiences you can have is using a PSVR 2, but
shelling all that cash.
I don't know if it's worth like $200 to $300 extra.
I was gonna say about like 2 to 3 extra games you can buy with the damn thing. So yeah, like those are games that you can buy that like that may be more interesting than the games you're gonna buy with the VR. So like
Well, to be fair, I have 3 PSVR 2 games just out the box, just already. Like, these weren't games that I bought, but they are games that I own. When PSVR 2 came out, they added a little icon on them that says PSVR 2 compatible. So I have, well, actually, 4 games: Gran Turismo 7, Humanity, Tetris Effect, and Resident Evil Village.
that was the thing. You said Gran Turismo, and I thought Grand Theft Auto. That was the thing that people were pissed off about with this. That, like that, there was no talks about Grand Theft Auto, and
I
I'm
wasn't
thinking, like,
expecting it
why would
because,
there?
like, looking at what they did with GTA 5 and even what they did with Red Dead Redemption 2, all they did was tweet out some art that
So
said Red Dead Redemption 2 and just had like the silhouettes of some dudes on horses, and the internet melted down. Like, they
so
don't need anybody's stage. Rockstar are going to be rock stars about it.
yeah, they're gonna do their own thing. Like and like they're gonna release it, and no one's gonna know like it came out when it came out, and like we were gonna
Oh
talk
no,
about it.
we're going to know the date. They are going to
You think
shove
so?
that date down our throats.
Even from promo, really?
Yeah. Oh, dude, there were Grand Theft Auto 5 billboards. Like, I remember when Grand Theft Auto 5 first came out. Like, I was on tour. Like, it came out when I was 19, and I was on tour, and I was like, the marketing for this game is nuts. And, like, I haven't seen anything like it since. And that was off Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 6 is now them after making billions of dollars off of Grand Theft Auto 5, yeah, oh, no. Every commercial break on TV is going to have a Grand Theft Auto. Every bus
It,
on the road, they're
that I agree with.
and
I
they're
agree
all
with
going
all
to
that.
have the date right there in the middle of the bottom. It's going to be
When the game comes out, yeah, but I think like when they first drop it, I don't think they're gonna tell us when they're gonna drop it. I think it's just gonna happen. It won't be like
Oh,
an
yeah,
event.
it's well
It
no,
won't be an
they'll
event.
announce it a couple days. They'll drop some art. It'll be like a picture of a car, and it'll be
Okay.
Grand Theft Auto 6, and they'll be like, tune into our reveal event, twitch.tv/rockstar or Rockstar Games or whatever, like whatever channel they want you watching it on, like whatever social channel they want you watching it through, they're going to
What
just
they put on the billboard.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Well,
I,
no, that'll just be on Twitter because like Red Dead Redemption 2, they just tweeted it out of like, "Hey, come watch our reveal event," and put out some art, and the internet went crazy. And then that game sold ridiculously well, but not. It did really well for like general game numbers, but it did not do really well when we're talking Grand Theft Auto numbers, the best-selling video game franchise of like all time.
Bond just walked in here, skipped living shit out of me. Fucking hell. So that face you just saw, that's what that was. All right. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see on that. I'm I don't know. I've been following Rockstar Games for a good minute. We'll see. We'll see what they do. I don't think they're gonna do that, but like you're very confident they are gonna do that. We'll see.
Yeah, they'll do a tweet, an Instagram post, and a Facebook, like all the social networks and then there'll be a trillion news sites talking about it, and everybody's gonna know. Like, it'll make nightly national news of like Rockstar Games just announced their hotly anticipated follow up to Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, like
That I definitely agree with for
yeah.
sure.
So all of that, and then they're probably gonna have the reveal event. Maybe give us a date there. But if they don't want to delay and they don't want to push, they might not give a date. But
Mm,
like in the marketing to the lead up of the release of the game, oh yeah, they're gonna make sure you know.
you're not wrong there either. All right. I guess we'll see. I can't wait. I literally cannot wait for this like new era to show up, but it won't be this year. It doesn't have to be next year.
Oh yeah, well, they already talked about their fiscal year 2024.
2024, yeah.
Yeah, so like we know by the end of April 2020, by the end of April 2025, they're expecting Grand Theft Auto 6 to be out.
Nice.
Or beginning of
Can't wait.
April 2025. So we're probably getting it like mid to late 2024. All right. Well, I think that's we definitely went a lot longer than I was expecting to. But we had a solid episode. Thank you. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Remember, you can follow me around the internet, cheesycontrollerpodcast.com. Follow me on Twitter at Anton Sixxx with 3 X's. Instagram Anton the number 6 with 2 X's. D, where can people find you?
You find me at F2 Nerd Talk, where you find F2 Nerd Talk. I've been spending a lot of my time like on Twitter lately, even though like my followers are dropping on there. But I've been spending most of my time just like throwing out random stuff and see what sticks. Because I'm getting to that point where I just don't care about a lot of stuff as much as I used to. So if you want to see the dumpster fire that is FTO, make sure you hit up Twitter.
I'm down. I mean, I just read Twitter. I don't tweet as much. But now you have me worried that my follower count's dropping. No, it's about the same. It's in the correct range.
It's probably mostly me. I have something tagged in the front where I talk about like gotta add more women to Mortal Kombat, and you know, the fragile ego. Yeah, it can be a thing, but you know, you gotta weed those people out sometimes. So yeah, it's fine.
All right. Well, until next time, keep it cheesy
and take it easy. Hey guys, D here of FTO Nerd Talk. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends about FTO Nerd Talk. Got a lot of different shows for all of you. Make sure you tune in every week for a brand new episode. Take it easy.